This should be the entrance to the cargo hold. Not really my concern. The two of them seem to be in a private conversation. I'd better not disturb them. When Adil and I were following the professor in London, I was disguised. But that doesn't mean he won't recognize me now. Two handsome sailors are standing at the table and studying a marine map. Good thing they're busy. I can have a look around without being disturbed. If someone leaves the bridge, I'll pretend to be stargazing. And if that doesn't work, I'll just turn on the charm. No idea what kind of flag this is, but the pole it's attached to could be very useful one day. It's about 80 centimeters long and looks quite stable. Yes, it's sturdy, but it's also too cumbersome to carry around. A classic. The thief enters through the ventilation shaft. Can it really be that easy? No, it can't. The cover is screwed shut. No, there's no gap to put the pole in. I can't force the cover open. The penny might be the right size. The penny fits perfectly into the screw slot, but my fingers aren't strong enough to turn the screw. That's it. I can jam the penny in and make an improvised screwdriver. All right. That's it. I just hope that this is the right shaft. I still haven't found a way to get back into the ventilation shaft from the cabin. I need something like a rope and a way to tie it to the shaft. I could tie the bath towel around the pole, put the pole across the ventilation shaft, and climb down with the help of the towel. Sounds like a plan. Here goes nothing.
Ah, Jakob Aust. I finally got you. I'll have them arrest you and justice will be done.
Can I be of assistance, madam?
Yes, you can get out of the way.
Shall I tidy up, madam?
No, it's time to celebrate.
Excellent. The coast is clear. The mannequin could probably wear my clothes. It'd disappear under the Baroness's clothes, though. As a child, I often stood in front of shop windows and tried to stand as still as the mannequins. When I got bored, I claimed that one of the mannequins had blinked and declared myself the winner. It seems like she was searching for a specific photo, and that she actually found it. Jakob Aust. Now I've got you, she said. We got our hands on the list of passengers, but I don't recognize the name. Hundreds of black and white photos, many of them tinted. From the 20s and 30s, I guess. I don't have time to deal with them. The Baroness wrote something down and took the slip of paper with her. It's probably not important. No. Inch said he hid the eye in the Baroness's luggage, which makes sense. He can't be certain that he'll have the chance to hide it again when we arrive in Cairo. For a jewel. But Inch said something about a combination. That sounds like a little safe or a hidden compartment, and she wouldn't have something like that in her suitcase. Not even Adil would believe that this painting was an original. He was interested in art when we first met, but for him it was always about the content, not the technique. I had my work cut out teaching him to concentrate on the stroke, the material, and the signature of the artist. It's the only way to distinguish an original from a fake. I don't care who painted it as long as it speaks to me, he said. A perspective that, as an art thief, I can't share, but it's charming nonetheless. I'd prefer to lock the door. Someone could come in and catch me at any moment. But it's important not to leave a trace. Inch absolutely cannot find out about us. I must hurry. Impressive for a quick drink on the go. Gin, whiskey, liqueur, sherry, vodka, brandy, and champagne. Every bottle is at least half empty. Napkins and towels, but no jewel. Corkscrew, bottle opener, coaster, nothing else. More bottles. Might be the good stuff. A suitable glass for every occasion. But most of them look more or less unused. The Baroness probably disregards style and etiquette when she's drinking alone, and just uses the same glass. What's that? A small leather strap. Aha! I'd put money on the Eye of the Sphinx being behind this door. I don't think anyone would bet against me. The door is locked. I have to find the right combination to get in. To me, it looks like a combination lock. A good one, too. The door only opens when the right symbols are in place. There are outlines of animals. A dog, a cat, a bear, and a rooster, amongst others. 8 symbols per cylinder. That means more than 4,000 possible combinations. Nefertiti, Guernica, AD, Buonarroti's Adam. This could be a memory aid for the Baroness, and it would explain how Inch discovered the combination. I'm going to copy the hints. As I see it, I have to decipher these clues to find 3 of the symbols. Then I can guess the 4th. Well, Nefertiti was an Egyptian queen. The monogram and the 2 other clues aren't much help. If only I knew 3 of the 4 symbols, I could easily guess the last. But whilst I don't know at least 3 of them, I can't go any further. was close. Maybe the art magazine will help me with the symbols. Indeed. An article about the different works of art and how they survived the Second World War. And there's also a picture of the bust of Nefertiti. The unique Egyptian work of art was 1913. Permission to export to Germany. Second World War. Safe at the Reich Bank. Then a bunker. And then a salt mine. Prevented from shipping the bust to the United States. Back in Berlin since 1956. Very glad, blah, blah, blah. Soon in the Egyptian Museum of Berlin, and hopefully someday in a reunified Berlin on the Museum Island. Okay, so the bust of Nefertiti is located in Berlin. Berlin. The bear! The Berlin Bear! There's a bear on Berlin's coat of arms. Nefertiti, bear. That's it! I have to find out where the other works of art are located and which animals are associated with those cities. Now I know what to look for. It'll be child's play. It seems like Dr. Gebhardt was able to wrestle himself away from his work, but he still doesn't seem to be very relaxed. Quite the opposite. And why won't he go to the saloon? Dr. Gebhardt! Getting some fresh air?
Oh, you could say that.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Now listen, young lady, I do not know what they told you, but just because I am German, I am not responsible for the crimes of my government.
Crimes? What are you talking about?
We obeyed orders, just like everybody else. Now leave me alone.
Do you know what the monogram AD stands for?
What?
A capital A with a small d below it.
Yes, I do. Will you leave me alone if I tell you what it means?
You know.
It is not just any monogram. It is the first. Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, signed all his works with it. He was the first artist to sign all of his work with a monogram. It was not common to do so before then.
Are you sure?
His wooden engravings were, and still are, printed billions of times in Germany.
Billions of times? You're exaggerating.
Not at all. His work appears on German marks.
And what?
That's enough. I told you what you wanted to know. Please, leave me alone now.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
Buonarroti.
No idea. Don't know him.
But...
Try your luck somewhere else and leave me alone, please. Thank you.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
He's sweating profusely, burst capillaries, and a sweet odor. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. Hello, Captain DeCanti.
Miss Myers, how nice to see you. You look beautiful. We missed you at dinner.
I was in my cabin. I didn't feel very well.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better.
Lovely concert, wasn't it?
You only heard the end. It was really wonderful.
All the more curious that Lady Westmacott embarrassed Mr. Kreutzer like that, don't you think?
I have no idea what got into her. They say she's a difficult person, but this... Maybe it's the privilege of famous people to be a bit strange from time to time. When I was still a young sailor, Enrico Caruso was a passenger on our ship, and he...
I think she's fascinating. She's achieved so much, and all by herself.
Lady Westmacott? Oh yes, that's true. The most successful writer in the world.
Do you know any more about her?
Everything. I'm her biggest fan. What do you want to know?
Where is she from? Who were her parents?
Her father was a wealthy British salesman. Her mother died in childbirth. She had an outstanding education, but was a lonely child, they say. Her father was away on business most of the time.
I know how she feels. For many years, my father's career was also more important than me.
Don't say that, my child. Your father paid for the life you now live.
Did Lady Westmacott's father marry again?
Yes, a woman 15 years his junior. She didn't really care for the child. She was something of a high society lady. She made the headlines with her antics more often than the family would have liked.
And her novels. How did she come to be a writer?
In interviews, she always mentions her French tutor, who encouraged her to write when she was a child. After some poems and short stories, she began to write detective novels with great success. The rest is history. The experts are arguing whether she or Shakespeare has sold more books.
Although she doesn't receive the same deference.
That's true, but her books are much more innovative and extraordinary than people generally give her credit for.
And what does an elderly lady like her want in Egypt?
I couldn't really say. She was there many times with her husband, an archaeologist. He died a long time ago.
I heard something about a reception at the Egyptian Museum?
Yes, for the eyes of the Sphinx. Or rather, for the eye. But I don't think she'd go to Cairo just for that. She usually stays away from official events. Didn't participate in the literary scene either. Always stayed as far away as possible from high society. Probably because of her stepmother.
Is it true that you're a war hero?
Mm-hmm. In 2 world wars. That tells you how old I must be.
You're as old as you feel.
Oh God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling well?
You shouldn't burden your pretty little head with the dark thoughts of an old man, my dear.
If you don't feel well, maybe you should take it easy.
I'm afraid if I take it easy, it'll kill me.
You seem to be a pessimist.
Fatty liver, asthma, gallstones, jaundice, gout, shingles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, circulatory trouble, knee problems, pulmonary embolism, gastritis, migraine, neuralgia, tinnitus, rheumatism, pleurisy, thrombosis, and constipation. Those are what's been diagnosed so far. My body is a curse.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I'm sorry.
Forgive an old man. I didn't mean to shock you.
You're still the captain of this beautiful ship.
They couldn't just get rid of me, so they stuck me somewhere where I can't make trouble anymore.
Don't say that.
This ship runs fine without me. The crew knows what to do. They don't need me. They don't want me.
Captain!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm burdening you with all of this. Forgive me, eh? I'd like to rest for a while. Soon enough, it'll be time to head back to the coalface.
Captain DeConti?
Yes?
Guernica, does that mean anything to you?
Not a harbor that I've ever docked at.
Oh, that's too bad. Do you know Albrecht Dürer?
Yes, an artist. Not bad. But he has his weaknesses as well.
For example?
For one, he wasn't Italian.
That's a pity.
You can say that again. At least he lived in Italy for a while.
What else can you tell me about him?
I once overheard an argument on board between a German and a Spaniard about who elevated the woodcut to an art form, Albrecht Dürer or Alberto Durero. Eventually, they realized they were talking about the same man. Ha!
Albrecht Dürer is called Alberto Durero in Spain?
That's right. Don't ask me why.
Buonarroti. That sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Ha! You can say that again. Buonarroti is the name of the greatest artist of all time, Michelangelo Buonarroti, who most people only know by his first name. Just imagine, one man, an Italian, achieves perfection in all three movements of graphic arts. His David is the most famous statue in the world. As an architect, he was a genius. He built parts of St. Peter's Basilica.
And as a painter, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
The creation of Adam. The spark of life leaps from God to Adam. One of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yes, it is. Does Vatican City have an animal on its coat of arms?
No.
And the Pope?
Every pope has his own emblem, but the new one doesn't have an animal.
You don't seem to like the new Pope.
It's too early to say. But who's fit to hold a candle to John the 23rd? Il Papa Buono, as we used to call him. The good Pope.
He just died recently. What was his heraldic animal?
He was a lion, and so was his heraldic animal.
For a Catholic, Buonarroti's Adam could be a mnemonic for the lion. Pope John XXIII was elected in the Sistine Chapel like every other pope. I just need one more animal. I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
I don't know why, but people just seem to open up to me. Is that a blessing or a curse? It must be horrible to look back bitterly at the end of one's life, especially if it could have been a great life. The Baroness seems to have a reason to celebrate. She's downing one glass of champagne after another. The less I have to do with her, the better. Best if she doesn't even remember that I exist. Although, based on her alcohol consumption, I don't really think I have to worry about that. Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
Does Guernica mean anything to you?
Do you usually ask strangers random questions?
I'm curious. How shall I learn if I don't ask?
Pick up a book.
Are you interested in art?
Not really. I'm more interested in real life, in people.
So, you don't know Albrecht Dürer?
Just because I'm not interested in art doesn't mean that I'm ignorant.
What can you tell me about him?
Books, my dear, books. In them, you'll find the answers to all your questions, even the most foolish ones.
I bet you don't know anything about him, and you just want to cover it up.
Ah, you want to appeal to my honor. Too obvious, I'm afraid.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
I was talking to the captain. He didn't look well. Is he sick?
I am sure you will understand that I cannot discuss the medical history of one of my patients with you.
Why? Do you think I'm too stupid?
I didn't mean that. It is a matter of confidentiality.
I asked whether the captain is ill and you called him one of my patients. Haven't you already answered my question?
What do you want?
I ought to be going.
Thank God.